It's on the... Ah! He made it! Oh my...
Hello everybody and welcome inside of Platt Arena here on the campus of Huntington University in Huntington, Indiana. It's the Lourdes Grey Wolves versus the Huntington Foresters in the first round of the NAIA National Tournament. History will be made tonight as the Huntington Foresters are hosting their first ever national tournament game. It's Preston Husband, it's Ryan Holzapfel, it's the rest of our FDN Sports crew, and we are so excited that you have decided to join us here tonight for what should be a tremendous game here in the Naismith bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. These are two amazing teams. I mean, these are two of the best teams in the entire country in the NAIA, and they're off to a really great start tonight. I mean, look at everyone's hyped up. It's a great atmosphere in here.
It's a packed house here in Platt Arena, but before we talk about our game tonight, let's take a look at all the games that will be included here in Platt Arena in the bracket sponsored by the NAIA. We'll show you the entire bracket overall here on your screen, and then what we'll do is we'll zoom in and show you what four teams are involved here in Huntington, Indiana. Of course, you've got Huntington and Lourdes here tonight, the 3-14 matchup, and then you have Northwestern out of Iowa and Graceland out of Iowa, who will be the 6 and 11 seed playing directly after this one. Whoever wins those two games will meet tomorrow night here in Platt Arena at 6 o'clock with a chance to go to the Sweet 16 in Kansas City. So obviously now you play, you win, you stick around, you lose, you go home. It doesn't get bigger than this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one of the biggest moments Foresters have had in basketball history, chance to make it back to the Sweet 16, which we haven't done in a very long time as a school, so a huge opportunity for this team.
Foresters haven't been there since 2005 and 2006. That's almost 19 years ago. And let's go ahead and check out why these two teams are here tonight. A big reason why Lourdes is here is because of Sean Monroe. That's our player to watch for the Lourdes Grey Wolves tonight. He is a top scorer in the country, the 4th top scorer. And actually, we're going to go ahead and show you Lane Sparks first because he's a Huntington boy.
Yeah.
Lane Sparks is one of the best scorers in the entire country as well. He led the Crossroads League in scoring. He's a lefty. He can get it done at all 3 levels. He's had an incredible career, a top 5 scorer in program history. Just a real go-getter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. His stat line is 22.7 points per game, 5 rebounds, almost 2 assists, shooting 45 from the field and 39 from 3. He is an efficient scorer, and he's a huge volume scorer for this team. When he gets going, the entire team only gets better.
2,244 career points. He's 94 points behind David Porter, who is one of the best players in this school's history. Lane has etched his name into history as well. He is really a tremendous player. He has had over 50 20-point games in his time at Huntington University, and we expect that he's ready to roll. And he missed the NAIA tournament last year, and now he's back to playing this year. And now we'll probably get a chance here to look at Sean Monroe, who we were talking about for Lourdes. He is a even better scorer than Lane Sparks. It's hard to imagine, but he is a real stud. And when Sean Monroe goes, this Lourdes team goes.
Absolutely. I mean, he is the cornerstone for what this team wants to do and what they want to accomplish in this tournament, averaging around 23.4 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, extremely efficient from both the field and the 3. He is their rock, and he is the player that keeps them afloat in every game. And if Foresters want to get away with this one, they're going to have to stop him.
Sean Monroe is in his 6th season of college basketball. He's been now at 3 different schools. He was actually at Pikeville a few years back, started his career at Urbana. He has been all over the place, but man, he is a really phenomenal player. These two teams, they are ready to go, and you can feel the energy as Lourdes comes back out. They're only about 2 hours away, so they brought a pretty good crew, and of course, the Huntington fans always show up strong here inside Platt Arena.
Yeah, absolutely. The white out right now, you can see a bunch of white t-shirts they handed to the student section in the chopping block, and it's going to be a great night of Forester basketball here, and these fans are ready for it.
And whether you're a Huntington or Lourdes fan tonight, we'd love for you to follow us on social media. more particularly on Instagram. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's at FDN Sports. We will be showing you highlights from some of these games, bringing you all the action, updating the bracket, and you can join us here tonight for 2 games and then 1 tomorrow to see who will go to the Sweet 16. We're going to kick it to a break, and then we will come right back. But before we do, follow us on Instagram, and we'll talk to you here in just a few minutes.
Well, before we start, you just want to say your name.
My name is Beyonce Paulina. I go by Paco. Like most people know me as Paco. So this is my senior year. So I can't really even remember not playing baseball or how it's like not playing baseball. The biggest thing I think for sure is being able to have something that I can go to and not focus on real life stuff. Back home, my mom for sure watches. My dad, my sister sometimes whenever they can. It feels good because last year I had a rough year. I was never the best hitter on the team, never. Last year, hitting wise, wasn't good at all. That hit me because I felt like I wasn't helping the team out. Coming to this year, it was a big motivation for me. My plane landed, the next day I was already in the gym, the next day. I come from Curacao, 125,000 people. Indiana's bigger probably than my country. So it's really different. We speak Papiamentu, which is 3 islands speaks that language in the whole world. All my family is over there. I have no family here, but I feel like I was able to manage fine. To be honest, I haven't even put too much thought behind it. This is gonna be my last year. I think I'm super focused on having a good year, helping my team out this year. That I'm not even focusing on what's gonna come after it, how I'm gonna go by life. I really haven't put too much thought behind it, but I know I'm a motivated guy. I can lifting. I'd probably find a way to be a part of a baseball team, coaching or whatever. I know I'm gonna do something like that. Mi nombre es Beyonce Paulina. Yo conocí como Paco, como béisbol. Probably with the base start, pero sí, start in there.
1.1 seconds left. Huntington a chance to win. Drew finds Zach. Zach launches for the win, and he baked it in!
What a shot there from Zach Goodline! Oh, unbelievable!
Zach Goodline does it again!
Wow.
He's the clutchest man in Forester history as he's just knocked off the Spring Arbor Cougars!
Man, oh man, what a clutch shot there from Zach Goodline! Wow!
Zach Goodline, the closer. 2 straight years in Platt Arena. Magic happens. It's Goodline time. They're going to take a quick look at this replay, but it sure looked like Goodline got this off in time. We're going to need another baseline shot to make sure they can see the lights go off. But you can see the emotions on both sides right now. This one's going to count, folks. They have to be able to see the lights. You see that ball's out of his hand. Yeah. Zach Goodline just put away Spring Arbor again. He is unbelievable, one of the best players in Forester's history, and he's done it again. And this shot's gonna count, and the Foresters are on to the semifinals of the Crossroads League.
Hello, my name is Courtney. I am a senior here at Huntington. I played volleyball here for 4 years and had so much fun doing it.
Great back and forth between 2 teams.
Now HU on a mini run here to pull it a little closer.
Growing up, my mom was a PE teacher, so she was always in the gym. I was always in the gym. She coached volleyball, she coached softball. Anything that you could probably coach, she probably did. It's hard to find the words to really describe what my mom means to me. Throughout my entire life, she's been my constant through everything. I don't think I would have ever been here, for one, playing collegiately if it wasn't for her, but also I wouldn't ever have the drive that I do. I wouldn't have the competitive edge that I do if it wasn't for her, because she instilled that in me since I can ever remember. Yes, she's been there for me, but also there had to be a point where I was there for her. I was in high school my freshman year. My mom was diagnosed with cancer, and she wasn't sure how that was gonna pan out. She was insanely strong. I've never met another person that is as strong as my mom. When you're faced with the chance of losing somebody like that, it truly changes your outlook on them. And I think that truly brought us so much closer. So I'm 3 hours away from home here, and my brother also plays at Toledo, so my mom is traveling all of the time. If I was struggling on a Sunday and I wanted to go home, she's met me halfway and had dinner. Or if we have a volleyball game and it's 4 hours away, she'll be there, she'll drive it, she'll watch, she'll support, give me a hug after the game, and drive home without any complaints. It felt like she was 10 minutes down the road because she was so present.
She is the reason why I wore number 14 in the first place. She always wore 14 playing volleyball growing up, and that was very important to me.
Through all of that, the game of volleyball has given me so many relationships that I will have the rest of my life. And it's so crazy how a black and white ball can bring together so much and can mean so much.
My name is Chirapat Puglian, but my nickname is John, but basically everyone here call me Pookie.
Chirapat Puglian. Yes. Teach him a thing or two.
When I was 6, I started playing soccer in my school. I came back home and I told my dad that look dad, I scored 3 goals. Then my dad didn't believe me. So he actually went to a game in my school and he saw I don't know how to play soccer at all. I have no idea what I'm doing. Then that day I came back home and I lied to my dad again, saying that I scored 2 goals. Then my dad told me that okay, I'm gonna call your teacher and ask do you actually score that many goals? And I started crying because I was young, I don't want my dad to know that I'm lying. So then my dad started taking me to training soccer in the academy. Then from there on I just love the sport so much, and I just play since then. Before I came here, I was super scared about the change, Everyone here welcomed me very well. My US teammate, they welcome me very well and they love me, So they just start slowly teaching me bro, this is what we do here. Some of my teammates even take me back for Thanksgiving. It's a family, so it's nice. I have to say thank you to my dad, to be honest, because he's always up there watching my game, every game. Some game would be 3 a.m., 4 a.m. back home. I didn't expect him to watch the game, because it's too late. I didn't even text him he knows I have a game, but I didn't text him Dad, you have to watch the game. But every time after game, I'm gonna come back to my locker room. The first thing is I'm gonna check my phone. I always see my dad text is theory, I'm proud of you. I love you, you did well this game. Good job on that, good job on this. So I feel very my dad watched every game, so that means a lot to me.
And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live.
Welcome back inside Platt Arena. We are just about set for tip-off between Lourdes and Huntington University in the first round of the NAIA National Tournament. First time ever the game's been held here in Platt Arena, and we are ready to go. Let's go ahead and introduce you to the visitors on the scoreboard from Ohio. Lourdes taking on the Foresters tonight. Sean Monroe, we've already told you about him. He's one of the top scorers in the country. He's joined by Darrell Jones, who is averaging 11.4 points per game on 45% shooting. He is one of their key players offensively and defensively. He's joined by number 15, Paxton Payne from Cookeville, Tennessee, a transfer from Cleveland State. He'll also be joined by Adonis Abrams. And one more out there will be searching here. Number 4, Prakash Ketterhagen from New Rochelle, New York, a transfer from Eastern Michigan. A really solid team. They've had a great year. They play out of the WAC. Huntington has played several players from that conference over the past few years. So far, Huntington has beat every WAC opponent they have played this season, but this is a different team. This is a national tournament game, and they're ready to roll.
Absolutely. This is the national stage. It's do or die right now. You know they're going to leave it all out on the court. I mean, if they get sent home, they're not going to go down without a fight. So you got to expect this Lourdes team to really put it all out on the floor. And now it's time for the Foresters to get introduced here.
And for Huntington University, they will continue to work with their regular starting 5. They'll be playing with Max Gizzy, Lane Sparks, Landon Jordan, Jackson Paul, and Drew Goodline. That's been the starting 5 most of the year now. And they are just about ready to go step on the court and play in front of what is now a sold-out crowd here in the Platt Arena.
Yeah, absolutely. It is an electric atmosphere in here. These players, they relish moments like this. I mean, this is the biggest stage, the biggest game they've played all season, and they are ready to roll here.
Coach Jake Dupree for Lourdes is in his first season, Ryan. He was the interim head coach around February, took over the job. He has been involved in every single Lourdes basketball game in their entire history of a basketball program. So he's ready to go. He feels confident about his team, and the same could be said about Coach Corey Alford. Coach Corey Alford said, this is why we built this new arena. This is why we wanted to play so well throughout a tough Crossroads League schedule to host a game right inside here.
Yeah, absolutely. Give the fans something to cheer about. I mean, there's nothing better than going to a national basketball game and rooting for your team and your school here. And obviously with the packed out arena, sold out arena, everyone's looking forward to it. And they're really looking forward to the Foresters playing their best basketball of the season.
Huntington is supporting tonight by wearing white. It's a white out here in Platt Arena. I actually went to the bookstore and got me some white tonight, but we are ready to go as it is NAIA tourney time. It's the road to Kansas City. Everyone wants to get there, and the only thing that stands in between these two teams is 2 wins here in Platt Arena to go to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, absolutely. Facing the winner of either Northwestern or Graceland, who play after this game, but right now all their focus has got to be on Lourdes and trying to shut this team down and shut down one of the best scorers in the entire NAIA.
It'll be Darrell Jones and Landon Jordan once they get on the court at center court in between the circles. And the Foresters will be in their white uniforms. It'll be Lourdes in their black with the orange colored lettering and numbers. I'm ready to go. I don't know about you, Ryan, but this is a big time game here in Platt Arena.
Biggest game I've ever had to announce, so this is really exciting stuff.
And as always, you guys can tell us where you're watching from tonight in the YouTube comments, whether you're a Lourdes or Huntington fan. We would love to say hello, and thank you for joining us. NAIA National Tournament game underway in Platt Arena for the first time in history. And Lourdes will start with the basketball. It's Paxton Payne who will try to start the offense. Darrell Jones and Sean Moore right away firing. Missed that one short. It's an offensive rebound as it falls into the arms of the freshman Adonis Abrams.
You can see Gizzy on Sean Monroe. He is going to have a huge defensive night for the Foresters as he has to guard one of the best players. This is going to be a very tough matchup.
Already 2 offensive rebounds. Sean Monroe, second shot no good. That is 4 opportunities, and finally Landon Jordan clears.
Yeah, too many offensive rebounds there. Forces have got to get on the boards and not allow them many shots, because Sean Monroe's not going to miss that many shots every possession.
Max Gizzi will run the point for the Foresters, one of the best assist-to-turnover ratios in the entire country this season. This Lourdes team, they pride themselves on defense as well. Lane Sparks, leading scorer for the Foresters, misses the first shot. Jordan with the rebound, took it down on the floor, and then had it knocked away as Monroe pulls it out of there.
These are two, like you said, extremely good defensive teams, very scrappy teams. This is going to be a physical contest all game long, and you see all right here, it's getting scrappy right now.
Prakash Ketterhagen gets to the line as he shot faked and got Gizzi in the air. And that is going to be 2 free throws for Ketterhagen, who on the year is right around 71%.
Yeah, that was a great move with the pump fake, got Jackson in the air, and it looks like they called it on Lane Sparks instead, as he was the one that looked like he got the body contact on Prakash there as he nails the first free throw.
Ketterhagen knocks in his first. He only averages right around 5.5 points per game. He's got good size, 6'5". He's a redshirt junior forward, 215 pounds. He's very, very good as Jordan has his second rebound on the miss. Forester team last played at Grace for the Crossroads League Championship, where they were defeated by the Lancers. Second time in 3 years those two have met up. Gizzi against Monroe will drive and kick, and Sparks had it go right through his hands.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great play from Gizzi. Maybe threw it with a little too much heat, and Lane just couldn't handle the pass. Great play from the Foresters, just led to a turnover.
It's a couple of possessions in a row that Coach Corey Alford looking out at his team with a confused look. Not quite in sync yet offensively. Monroe up top. This is Darrell Jones. Loves to put it on the floor. He is blocked by Jordan, who grabs the miss again. Sparks rises in transition and knocks it in.
And there's one of the top scorers in the entire league right there with a pull-up three, one of his favorite shots to take, especially in transition, and he has the Forester crowd hyped up with the first bucket of the game for the Foresters.
Huntington with an early 2. The matchup to watch tonight, Monroe and Gizzi. Monroe a top scorer in the league, in the country. Gizzi the defensive player of the year in the conference. Monroe yet to score. Drew Goodline uses the screen. JP feeling more comfortable recently. Gets it inside, and Jordan dunks it.
And that's the best way to electrify this crowd. Landon Jordan excites these fans with his athleticism every game he gets onto the court, and a really nice pocket pass there from Jackson Paul to get a wide open dunk.
Jackson's been way more involved over these last few games offensively, and Huntington needs that if they want a deep run. Monroe, shot fake, another one on its way, still off the mark. Sparks tried to go get it and tipped it out of play.
It's very unlike Sean Monroe to miss so many shots in a row, especially to start the game. I mean, he is so good scoring the ball that, I mean, it surprises you when you see him miss open shots like that.
He's 0 for 4 from the field to start this one, but he can quickly get it going. Jones with the size on Paul. Prakash Ketterhagen, he'll put it on the floor. Got Gizzi in the air. Jones, a little 15-footer, rattles it in.
And they need a big contribution from Darrell Jones. I mean, like you said, their second leading scorer. Sean Monroe is a great player, and he can do a lot for you, but you're going to need that second or third option to really step up if you're going to win big-time games like this.
Gizzi gets deep in the paint, has to push it back out to Landon Jordan. Huntington with 11 on the shot clock. JP puts it on the floor, flips it off the glass.
That's a beautiful scoop shot right there, right around the shot blocker. It's outstretched arms. What a pretty move from Jackson Paul.
7-3. Huntington's guards getting it done here early and often. Gizzi showing some pressure to Monroe. This is Adonis Abrams who puts it on the floor. Prakash Ketterhagen, high arcing 3, in and out, and it's yanked down. Good line. Start it with Jordan. Lourdes is doing a great job in the half court, slowing this Huntington team down early.
Especially when Huntington is so good when they get out and run and transition. They are such a better offensive team when they get to do that. So it's very important for Lourdes to keep them from getting those opportunities.
Got a foul called on Sean Monroe. as Jackson Paul was driving left. That's his first, the team's first. Both teams have one foul as we're about 4.5 minutes into this one. Media timeouts will work a little differently here. If you're used to watching our games, it'll be 90-second media timeouts rather than the 60, so a little longer on breaks. Gizzy staying aggressive, spins, falls, and hits.
What a pretty move. I mean, got through 2 defenders, little spin, turnaround shot. That is a really nice move from the veteran in this Forester squad.
When you meet with Corey Alford, and I met with him this week, he said if Max Gizzy is aggressive, we go to that next level, and that's what he wants to see from his senior guard. Jones, another 3, still unable to find it, and now Caden Johnson, who's in the game, grabs the miss. Jackson Paul to Lane Sparks, drives up and under, can't get it to go, and now Jones grabs the miss.
And a 5-on-3 here, easy opportunity to score.
Ketterhagen puts it on the floor. Johnson tried to stay straight up, but he is called for the foul. And when we come back, it'll be Ketterhagen at the line to try to score a couple and cut into this Huntington lead. Back in Platt Arena here early, it's a 9-3 advantage as Landon Jordan. If you're a Forester fan, you're used to seeing him fly above the rim. He's going to be a big piece to this team's success down the stretch. I want to say hello to some people tuning in. We got Chris Woosley tuning in from Rockport, Indiana. Samuel Hudson, he's watching from Charleston, West Virginia. We've got someone else in the comment. Let's go, Sean. That was actually Samuel. So we've got some Lourdes people tuning in. Thank you for checking us out tonight, Samuel. Landon Jordan's uncle watching from Fort Wayne. Tara Howell, the Howell family watching from Coloma, which is the hometown of the Goodline brothers. We, of course, know that and love the Goodline brothers here on FDN Sports. Shannon Fallbush, one of my favorite people, watching from Katy, Texas. Go HU. Thanks for tuning in. And Nancy Marshall, the Campbells and Marshalls watching from Florida. Go HU. We encourage all of our fans, even if you're a Grey Wolves fan or a Foresters fan, let us know where you're watching. We'd love to say hello, and we really appreciate you tuning in tonight. I think we'll have more viewers from further away in Game 2 because 2 teams from Iowa traveling 12.5 hours and about 10.5 hours to get here tonight. Lourdes just 2 hours down the road, but still a ton of fans tuning in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all of these teams have a lot of dedicated fan bases. Obviously, the parents love to see their children play out there on the court, but you just gotta love all the appreciation and all the time that they spend to watch these teams and support them.
So it'll be Ketterhagen who is back at the line. He was 1 for 2 on his first trip there. And that one is perfect as it's now 9-4, 14:50 left. You know, when I talked with Coach Dupree, he said, of course, Sean is a stud. Everyone knows that. Everyone gives him their best, but he wants to play against a guy like Max Gizzy. He wants to see what he can do against a great defender. He had another chance there to shoot it, but pulled it down, and now he's got Drew Goodline on him. Outside, 3-ball on the way from the corner, and finally Huntington secures as the miss is short by Paxton Payne.
Well, the shortest guy for the Foresters there to grab the rebound. Gizzy really impacting this game here early.
Caden Johnson in for Landon Jordan. No switches yet for this Lourdes team. Goodline yet to really get anything going offensively here today. Struggled in that game against Grace. They really need him to get going as well. Jackson Paul falls away from 3 and makes it.
Wow, Jackson Paul, not usually known as the greatest three-point shooter, but a ridiculously tough shot there, and the Forester fans love it.
He led the Foresters with 3 threes at Grace, and they all came in a pretty short span. When he's shooting the ball well, this team gets tough to beat. 12-4 advantage, 13:50 left in the first half. Monroe denies the ball screen. Sean serving, takes a shot over 2 defenders, still nothing happening, and Gizzy secures it. Max trying to go coast to coast, into the defender, count the bucket.
Wow, what an unbelievable shot there from Gizzy. And like you were saying, if Gizzy can take it to that next level on the offense, be aggressive like that, take it in transition. I mean, he took that the full length of the court there to get the and one. He is such a dynamic offensive player when he really puts his mind to it. Obviously, he has a huge, responsibility guarding one of the best scorers in the league, but man, he can be so good on offense.
He's got 4 points already here in this first half to go along with 2 rebounds and make it 5. 15-4. Want to say hello to the HU men's golf team watching from their trip back from Tennessee, and the women's golf team as well. They finished runner-up today in a tournament. Coach Patrick Davis and Grace Still and Kiara Moore had great tournaments, so thanks for tuning in on your way back. Jackson Paul stole it. Huntington a chance to take an early swing in this game. Jackson will reset the offense. Max Gizzy will take over.
And this is where the Foresters get their momentum from, the defensive end. You can see them really putting pressure on this Lourdes team. They don't really have an answer for it, and it is fueling this Forester offense.
Cade Brenner in as well. Caden Johnson goes sky hook, didn't quite have the touch, and Ketterhagen has another rebound. It's a good move, just not the result there for KJ.
Yeah, you don't mind taking it. With that extreme height advantage, just Gizzy once again just playing the lockdown defense. With that kind of height advantage, you do not mind getting an open hook shot like that.
Jackson Paul, tough to the rim, missed that there. Straight up defense by Lourdes. And now freshly in the game, Derek Fairley, that has been really good in his freshman year, nearly throws it in the backcourt. This Lourdes team needs something going offensively right now. It's usually Monroe, but it looks like another player for them is going to have to step up tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You could just tell Gizzy's all over him, and a questionable foul call, but looks like he may have gotten the arm there, Sean Monroe, and a chance for Sean to get on the board here.
Monroe will head to the free throw line for the first time tonight, where he's 82.5 on the year. Kamani Smith's brother tuning in, his military brother tuning in from North Carolina tonight. So thank you for tuning in, as well as Monroe finally has that first point. Sometimes a really good scorer like Sean Monroe, all he needs to see is a free throw go in, and that kind of gets him going sometimes.
Well, and that's why you saw the Forester bench react the way they did when they called that foul, because they know that this guy is an electric scorer. He's a volume shooter. The more he makes, the better he feels on the offensive end. So as a scorer, to see 2 shots go in here or 1 shot to go in here, you get a little bit more confidence, and he may be more of a threat on the next possession.
Karen Kern also tuning in from Florida. We do appreciate all of you. We hope you enjoy our broadcast tonight. It's a mostly student broadcast beside myself and Adam Widener, one of the professors here tonight who is producing. So it's a really great thing HU does. Sparks fouled on his way to the rim, and now Lane has a couple of free throws.
Yeah, there's no doubt there. Definitely a foul. You saw him get hit on the back of the head and on the forearm right there. And Lane Sparks, very aggressive offensive player. He likes to initiate that contact. And something that we saw is he usually doesn't get those foul calls is because he's such a physical player. But sometimes they're a little bit too undeniable of a call.
They're trying to confirm who the foul is on. Foul is on number 20, Darrell Jones. They just wanted to make sure they had the correct personal foul and person to call the foul on. And now Sparks, first trip to the line tonight. First one is good. It's not been a breeze at the free throw line. It's not been a breeze at the free throw line for Sparks, but it has been better as of late as he's really started to knock in some threes.
Yeah, Lane Sparks has really been improved with his shooting ability late in this season, especially when this Forester squad started to hit their stride here late, going into the tournament and now into the national tournament, and they're really looking for him to have an impact shooting-wise.
So we will come and make sure that foul was on Jones. They're going to check the replay at our next media timeout, which will come in about 2 minutes. Darrell Jones being guarded by Roman Brouvier, who's in for the first time. Physical again inside, and Jordan has another rebound. That's 6. Roman running the court, tried to find in Jackson Paul. Monroe was there to take it away.
And Sparks just didn't get it high enough as they wanted the lob there. A little bit too short of a pass, and Roman gets another one right there.
Right now it feels like there's a lid on the basket for Lourdes. It's a good look right at the rim by Kendall Perkins, and they just could not get it to drop. Cade Brenner in for the first time tonight as well. Sharpshooter from Northwood High School right down the road. Huntington playing with 2 bigs as well. Jackson Paul drops it in. Rouvier with space was blocked, and now a late whistle comes in as Darrell Jones could have 2 if they come back and confirm that last one.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a huge foul call. I mean, Darrell Jones, their second best player, arguably their best defensive player. He's a huge, big-time shot blocker for this team, and they really need him on that defensive end to be that anchor.
So Bruvier, who has missed some time with a foot injury, will step up to the line now. Just 41.7% and missed that one. He struggled from there, but he hasn't had a lot of opportunities as well. He doesn't go to the free throw line a lot. He comes off the bench. He's more in there to tip in shots, grab rebounds, and he's one of the best defenders on the Foresters roster.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would argue he's a better rim protector than Landon Jordan, even if he doesn't have as much athleticism. Roman Bruvier is so impactful on the defensive end, and like you said, he likes to run, get those tip-ins, grab those offensive rebounds, and they love the little things that he contributes to this team.
Made a free throw there. It's now a 12-point lead, which is the largest of the night for the Foresters. A couple new players now in as Jones took a break. Devin Jones in for the first time, has the ball. Hands it off to Kendall Perkins. Jones to Monroe. 2 points, both at the free throw line tonight. Gizzy trying to stay in front. Might have tipped that. He did, and Jordan's got a 7th rebound.
And Gizzy is just playing lockdown defense right now. He is showing why he is one of the best defenders in the entire nation. Max Gizzy putting the lockdown defense on one of the best scorers in the Crossroads, or in the NAIA.
4th leading scorer. Gizzy's held him to 2. Sparks, tough, fall away, and he's feeling it.
And Lane Sparks right over Sean Monroe, 2 of the best scorers in their respective conferences, and Lane Sparks looks to go at this Lourdes team as much as possible.
Another steal. Sparks up ahead of the pack. He's going to take it to the rim, get bumped. Jordan there to put it back.
And what a play by Landon Jordan. The putback dunk skying to the rim, and the Foresters are feeling it right now in Platt Arena.
22-6, largest lead of the night for the Foresters. Something's got to get going for this team on offense, that being Lourdes. Another miss. New player into the game, back to the basket. Left-handed shot blocked by Bruvier. That attempt was from Ross Thompson, and now Jordan again.
Landon Jordan on fire. This Forester crowd is going crazy.
24-6. Landon Jordan living above the rim. We're going to kick it to a media timeout. Platt Arena feeling it right now.
Bippa State Bank is a cornerstone of the community. Our banking building blocks were assembled in 1911 and haven't differed much since then. We still stay true to our local roots, aiming to support, uplift, and celebrate the citizens and businesses of Huntington. As proud lenders to and patrons of our local businesses, we make our community an even more prosperous place. And when you support local banking, you play an important role in Huntington's success stories. No matter what financial products you may need, your business is an invaluable opportunity for us to strengthen our relationship with Huntington, which we're fortunate enough to call home. Bippa State Bank is banking at its best. We believe in community banking.
What I've learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character, it just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school. And I think that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values.
Back in Platt Arena, 9:19 left in the first half. Right now it is all Foresters after a couple back-to-back dunks by Landon Jordan. We've seen him do that. He's well over a 60% shooter in his career because a lot of them look like that,
yes,
Ryan.
Absolutely, and they're getting these opportunities from this defense by their big men, and Max Gizzy is right there. That was a beautiful play set up by Monroe on the assist, but this Forester defense is really fueling their run that they're going on right now, and they have to continue that if they want to keep this lead.
So Thompson comes in and scores. Sparks right in the middle of the zone. Jordan fighting for it. Loose ball. Landon got to it, and it's last touch by Huntington.
That was a great hustle play there. Right here you can see him knock it off of Landon. That's a great play there to get the possession for the Gray Wolves as they look to put it in the basket another time.
Sparks had a good look there. If Lourdes is going to go to a zone, you know Sparks is going to be in the middle of it to probably take a lot of those short jumpers. Three ball is good as Fairley, the freshman from Cleveland, Ohio, knocks in his first triple.
And they need someone from this bench unit to provide that spark as their best scorer and their leader is not really playing well right now, has a really good defender on him. Someone else has got to step up.
Jordan tried to catch a lob and a foul is called again on the backside. I think this one's going to go on Kendall Perkins as this time Sparks was trying to go to Landon Jordan.
Yeah, you can tell he held him there. I mean, you do not want Landon Jordan to get another dunk. Otherwise, this arena will explode. And a smart foul there from Perkins.
So the foul is on 15, Paxton Payne. Oh, excuse me, it was on 14, Devin Jones. Thought it was going to go on Kendall Perkins, but they gave it to Jones. As Sparks and the Foresters will start over the offense with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Sparks again goes right to his strong left and somehow got that one to go.
Lane Sparks, he is just so good offensively. I mean, that is perfect defense. It just doesn't matter. Lane Sparks is really feeling it here early.
Huntington's doing all of this without Drew Goodline scoring much at all. In fact, he doesn't have a bucket. Same spot, three for Fairley. Off the mark, rebounded by Drew, right on cue. Goodline slows it down, skips it high to Max Gizzy, who made a nice catch. And now Cade Renner and Drew Goodline will shot fake. Cade in here to do this. Long, but right into the hands of Max Gizzy. Loose ball on the floor, Gizzy finds Sparks. Lane kicked it out to Drew. Now 10 on the shot clock. Gizzy to Sparks, who falls away and makes another.
Lane Sparks showing why he's one of the best offensive players in the entire nation, and he is on an absolute heater right now, already up to 11.
He's got 11 points, and he has really been shooting it well again as of late. His last game, 29 against the Grace Lancers, 4 of 7 tonight. Kamani Smith coming to the media table, for the first time as Brenner plays some good defense here on Kendall Perkins. Kendall, shot fakes, goes off glass. Nice move by him.
Yeah, that was a really pretty shot there. I mean, got the pump fake, got the sophomore in the air off his feet, and nails the easy bank shot. Fundamental basketball right there.
Kick called on Sean Monroe. Got one more media timeout left here in the first half. Couple more fans tuning in as we've got Matt Fouts saying, "Let's go HU." Debbie Dawley watching from Florida on vacation. Go Foresters from Dave and Pat Putt in Jacksonville, and then David Beck, former HU golfer in West Palm, Florida, excuse me. Smith has his first touch as Kamani finds KJ. Huntington a little out of sorts here, and because of that, Kaden Johnson lost the ball. Monroe, Euro, off glass, his first field goal.
And that is about the easiest shot he's going to get. An in-transition play right at the rim with Drew Goodline, not a shot blocker out there. That was a great opportunity for Monroe to get on the board with his first field goal.
Gizzy cuts right through the defense, lost the basketball. Chance now for Monroe to get it going again in transition. The Foresters able to slow him down. Monroe dribbles to his right, tried to throw it through a few defenders. Jackson Paul with the good hands. JP looking right at the hoop, will cut it back out to Drew Goodline. This game really back and forth right now.
Yeah, you can tell the intensity level is at 100% for both of these rosters, and they are going all out right now as Drew and Jackson trying to get something to go here.
Jackson to KJ, his first two right at the rim.
And that is one of the biggest advantages of this Forester squad. You can see the height difference that their centers have over almost every other center against teams that they face. They have such a tall three-man rotation between Landon Jordan, Brouvier, and KJ. And right there, just an easy layup.
Putting it on the floor, Kendall Perkins, and Smith knocked it away, but he'll be whistled for the foul. And after that foul, we'll go ahead and take a media timeout. 4:46 left. Huntington doubling up the Lourdes right now. .46 left in this first half. 2 of the 30 for the Foresters right there. Landon Jordan, a couple of dunks here tonight. And that was really the big run that kind of allowed HU to extend this lead. Right now they're holding on to it, but Lourdes is getting some better looks, and they're really driving hard to the rim, and that's why they're going to have a couple of free throws coming out of this media timeout as well.
Yes, absolutely, and a lot of it has come from Sean Monroe and his just impact on the court. You see a lot of these shots that they're getting at the rim are because of the drives that he makes and just the kind of backdoor cuts and cuts that the rest of his team is doing that are really allowing them to get those looks. And you have to run through your best player here because of the attention that he brings. And right now, that's their winning formula for how they're scoring buckets right now.
So it will be, once again, Kendall Perkins at the line. Went to Oakland Community College. First team all-conference in high school at Canton High School. He actually ran high school cross country for 4 years. Was very good at it. Now he's playing collegiate basketball as he takes a few dribbles and puts the first one in. He averaged 17.1 points per game at Oakland Community College and then 12.6 points per game in 21 and 22. And last year with Lourdes, he was only averaging about 3.4. This year he's about 7.5. So big jump for him. It's a nice player.
Yeah, he's a very big impact player for this team. Comes off the bench, really puts the ball on the floor, gets to the lane, draws fouls. I mean, he is a big time player for them and a huge option for them in that bench unit.
Landon Jordan just grabbed his 8th rebound already here in the first half. He's got 6 and 8. Back to his zone look, 2-3 here for Lourdes as they're pushing HU to start their offense late in the shot clock. Kamani spins, tosses, and 2 on the shot clock. HU's got to run something quick.
Yeah, they need to get Lane Sparks in the middle spot right there. As you can tell, Kamani Smith, who great impact player, does a lot of the little things, but he's not the greatest shooter, especially when with multiple defenders around him. And now the Foresters forced to make a really tough buzzer beater here.
Drew is good at making tough shots and almost banked that in, but Monroe rises and takes it away. That's the guy to go to in late game scenarios. We've seen him create some magic here in Platt Arena and on the road at Taylor earlier this season as well. Monroe against Goodline. Drives baseline, kicks it out corner. Another drive and a kick. Kamani couldn't quite get to it as Perkins took it away. Kendall Perkins staying aggressive. Somehow skipped that in. Jordan another block.
And that is great rim protection there from Landon Jordan, and Lane Sparks driving in.
Jackson Paul spins, finds an open man. Jordan just keeps dunking.
He is above the rim at all times in this game, and Jackson Paul, he is really playmaking right now for this Forester squad. You see that spin drew 3 defenders and left the pocket dunker wide open, and a beautiful play from the Foresters.
Perkins staying aggressive, missed another one. Lane Sparks knocked it away and did get the rebound as he now tries to run ahead. Up top, Landon couldn't catch that one. Got it back, stripped away. Drew Goodline finds JP. Jackson Paul to Landon. He's fouled this time.
And that is a really, really hard foul as it forced Landon to kind of land awkwardly there. And a lot of contact right there. I mean, yeah, definitely a foul kind of in the airspace of where Landon was trying to come down.
I don't think anything hostile, though. Just trying to go up and get it. And Landon jumps so high that if you knock him off balance, it's always going to look a little rougher than it actually is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have a 6'9" player who he's a big body out there and can jump as high as he can, it's always going to look, like you said, awkward when some contact happens midair.
Jordan's first free throws tonight. His first one in and out. He's gotten so much better from the free throw line throughout this year. He was right around a 40% free throw shooter for a while. Take a look at his stats now. He's up to 58.7. It's not amazing, but for him, it feels really good. You feel okay when he goes to the line nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. He really has worked on his free throws, and that's something that he's wanted to work on ever since he's been here. And to see that kind of improvement from a player for most of his career, they kind of played a hack of Landon every single time it was late game. I mean, he usually wouldn't make his free throws. So to see that kind of improvement and be above 50% is really big for him.
He's got 9 and 9 already in this first half. Last year, Landon in the first round of the national tournament had 18 rebounds and 16 points. So he knows how to play in the big stage, and he's doing it again tonight. Monroe cut off by Bruvier, and a foul is called as Roman just didn't give him enough space to operate in the painted area.
And you can tell the coach here trying to tell he was in the upward motion, but it looked like the contact may have came right before he gathered the ball. And yeah, they'll take it side out there.
That's a foul you're okay with, though, because he stopped probably an easy bucket by sliding over and blocking the offensive player.
And Gizzy right back on Monroe again.
Monroe with 4 points so far in this first half, just 1 of 8 from the field. Is yet to knock in a three. He's a 42% three-point shooter. Right side, jab step. Adonis Abrams will pull it back out. Now goes to work. Left-handed guard, throws it to the corner. Three is off in time. Hits the rim a few times. Somehow the smallest guy on the court, Monroe, tipped it to a teammate.
What a play right there, and you could tell kind of just a really hard rebound to grasp there. Gizzy couldn't quite collect it, and that's an easy bucket, especially after a hard 30-second possession that led to nothing.
Sparks right back in the middle of the zone, goes with the left hand again. He's got 13.
He is just incredible right there, and that's over 2 defenders with 2 behind him. Lane Sparks just absolutely dynamic.
Rome with a good hedge, and now a tip as it goes all the way into the backcourt. And Caden Cruz, a freshman from Napoleon, Ohio, goes and collects it. Fairley putting it on the floor. 11 versus 11 here with 6 on the shot clock. Fairley, the freshman, being guarded by the big man, gets to the rim, and a whistle comes in late. And it's going to be on Roman, as that's his 2nd of the game.
Wow, and a foul call there, like you said, his 2nd. already. You can tell the reactions of both the bench and the crowd not in agreement with that call. That's a tough break for the Foresters there, and that'll send Fairley back to the free throw line.
So Fairley from the stripe rattles it around and drops it in. 81% free throw shooter. He's not been to the free throw line a ton though this year. He has made a handful of threes, 39 of them. He's had as many as 26 in a game against Lambton, 7 rebounds against Siena Heights, 7 assists against Lambton. So he can get it done, and that's the guy that Jake Dupree put a star next to. You never know how a freshman is going to play in big games like this, but he's hanging in there here in this first half.
Yeah, he's been one of their bright spots off that bench unit. He's been huge.
Sparks, same spot, scores it again.
And they have got to do something different there when Lane Sparks takes it on that left side. I mean, that's his strong hand. He is such a good finisher at the rim, especially going left. They have to get him away from that left side if they want to stop him at all.
17-point lead for HU. And now again, back on the dribble is Fairley against Goodline. Shifty guard. Abrams to his right. Monroe. Probably about 2 shots left in this first half. This is where a good guard can create. Monroe, 18-footer, and gets one to go. That's what he's done all year long.
Yeah, he is such a good, his ball handle is incredible. The shot-making ability, just almost unmatched, and Corey Alford instantly wants a timeout after a bucket like that.
So we'll keep it right here. It'll just be a 30-second timeout. Huntington up 15, but man, a bucket right here before the half. And if you're Lourdes, you start to feel that pressure a little bit because you want to stick in this game, and they're definitely still in this game. It's 15. It could be much worse with Monroe struggling from the field, but once again, he could score 20 and a half, 25 and a half. He's had as many as 40 this year against Lambton, so he's a really good player, and at any time he can hit a few shots in a row.
Yeah, and right there, I mean, after a shot like that, I mean, one-on-one ISO against one of the best defenders that you could possibly run into, and Max Gizzi gets right around him, step-back jumper. I mean, that is a tough shot, and a shot that can give great scores like that momentum, and Corey Alford wanted to cut that off as soon as it happened.
So Huntington's going with what looks to be his starting 5 out of this timeout, looking for one more bucket. Foresters are shooting 62.5% in this first half. Just 2 of 5 from 3, so they really haven't had to settle for a lot of jump shots. Again, a lot of these looks right around the rim with Sparks and Landon and Max early in the game. That's just kind of what this team can do.
Absolutely, and I'm sure they're going to look to get it to Lane again in that middle. This zone is really getting cracked by that pressure Lane puts in the middle of it.
You see they've put Fairley out there in the middle of this zone right now as well. So it's more of a 1-3-1 look. Gizzi finds Jackson. He'll put it on the floor, finds Lane again, and right at the rim, the lefty scores. And no shot gonna go off as the shot clock went off. I thought that might have been the buzzer for the half, but instead it was tipped out by Huntington. Sparks is up to 17 now. Long pass up top, final shot from Lourdes. And they're gonna call a travel, no shot. And they're gonna see, I think, if any time is left.
Yeah, it was definitely a travel. Looked like he took 3 steps, not including a gather.
They're gonna wanna look at this replay here to see how much time is left. Once he travels and tries to make sure. So he's got to catch and then take 2 or 3 steps, 2 steps.
Yeah.
And then that amount of time will tell us how much is left. Can't quite tell from our point of view, but the refs will get that sorted out and then let us know. So Huntington could have one final shot, but it's going to take a real heave at the buzzer, which we've seen a few go in throughout this year. In fact, when Huntington was at Bethel earlier this year, Bo Jacques from Bethel knocked in an 80-foot shot against the Foresters in a similar spot to this.
Yeah, I mean, that was an incredible shot, and right there you can see not too much time either clock, but you can see it right there in this angle. Looks like they'll have about a second left for the Foresters to try and get something here after the travel. So the Foresters could possibly score right here if they can hit another buzzer beater, which would just add to the collection on the season.
So we'll wait and see what the refs decide. Right now it's a 17-point lead. See the Forester fans in their white shirts tonight. It's a whiteout in Platt Arena. First 150 students were able to come in for free. As Sparks and Fairley having a chat right at half court. And we'll see what the officials decide. They'll put 1.6 seconds back on the clock, so that's enough time to catch, dribble, maybe once or twice, and throw up a heave.
Absolutely, and they're going to look to get it to Lane Sparks, who already has 17. Try and maybe get a 3 to go in for him. I mean, if he could have 19 or 20 by the end of this quarter, you feel really good with his momentum that he's building right now.
It'll be Jackson Paul who triggers it. Drew Goodline launches it at the buzzer and nearly banked it in, but that will take us to the half. Huntington on fire to start, 39-22. They're taking it to the Grey Wolves here in front of their home crowd. We'll take a short break. We'll be back. FDN Sports bringing you production of the NAIA tournament first round.
What I've learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character, it just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school, and I think that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values. One that's most important to me is servant leadership. Being able to serve your community is a huge reason why I chose the NAIA.
I am a champion of character.
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 Hello and welcome to our halftime show here at Huntington University. My name is Allie Butts. I'm a junior here at Huntington and I'm a film and television production major. And I am joined here with Alexandria Frolke. She was an OT major here at Huntington, graduate. Now, for the people that don't know what occupational therapy is, can you kind of just give a quick overview of what that looks like?
Yeah, that's a great question. Occupational therapy is actually a profession. It's very sometimes we get confused with physical therapy, which it's not physical therapy. We work with people from 0 to 100, helping them get back to their meaningful activities in their life. So think about things that occupy your time, whatever that may be. If you first have to take care of yourself, then you have to do everything else around you that gives you that meaningful time that you need to do things. So getting dressed, taking care of yourself, and then going to work, activities of daily living, and so forth.
Yeah, so it's an occupation that requires a lot of passion behind it. What was it about Huntington that made it feel like they were going to prepare you in the right way?
I loved my time at Huntington University. It really prepared me to go into the field. You have a lot of opportunities to work with different populations, like the pediatric population, working with kids, working with adults, working with older adults. They prepare you in the classroom, but also in the community as well.
Yeah, and for the people, like, what do you do now? What do you do with that Huntington education?
Yeah, so actually that's a great part of why I'm here. I actually graduated here in 2021 as OTA, and then I went back to school to do the OTD program. So that's the Doctor of Occupational Therapy. And as I was a student there, I had a clinical rotation at Parkview Whitley Hospital, and I now work there. They offered me a position while I was a student there. So I work with adults in the ortho population, so I see a lot of injuries, so a lot of shoulders, elbows, wrists, hands, and helping people get back to the things that they want to do.
Yeah, and I mean, that experience is so incredible. There's actually a couple of girls on my floor here that they're a part of that program, and I know they come back from their days of actually just like being able to do the actual work. So was that kind of part of, can you kind of dive a little bit into actually doing this stuff while you were in school?
Yes, so Huntington did a great job at preparing us and really helping us to immerse ourselves into the community. So Christ Scholarship and Service, we're able to do service projects in the community, and our clinicals, that's part of our scholarship. So we're required to do fieldwork experiences, which is clinically immersing ourselves into different areas. So we have to work with pediatrics, which is fun. We can work with sensory processing in different areas there, as long as with adults, older adults. And I got to work in the schools, nursing homes, and hospitals as well.
Yeah, and for people who are watching and they're thinking, oh, maybe this might be something that I might be really interested in, what would be maybe your piece of advice, maybe your kind of pull to get them to come here?
I think Huntington University has an absolute phenomenal program. They have an OTA program here at the bachelor's level, so if you're just in high school and you're wanting to go on to the bachelor's, you can do the occupational therapy assistant program that they have here. They also have the doctorate program. They have 2 locations, so the doctorate program here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and also in Arizona. So that is an incredible opportunity as well, if you're looking to go somewhere else and not just stay in Indiana. And as well as the Bachelor's of OTA, you could start there and then go to the OTD program.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Alexandra. I really appreciate you talking with me today. I will let you guys get back to your game. The score right now is 22-39 Foresters, but we'll see you guys back here later. Thank you.
As the owner of JJ's, I invite you to visit one of our 7 BP convenience stores. And when you do, I expect you will experience hometown excellence in the cleanest and friendliest convenience stores in your community. Please also consider visiting JJ Java for the best cup of coffee in town, or JJ's Pit Stop for a quick, no appointment necessary professional oil change. Also, if you ever need a clean and efficient environment in which to do laundry, JJ's Washroom is ready to serve you.
Back in Platt Arena, it is a 39-22 advantage for the Huntington Foresters over the Lourdes Grey Wolves. Everything was really going Huntington's way in that game. They kind of pulled away a few times. Lourdes battled back, but at the end, Huntington up 17. It's going to be tough to overcome for a Lourdes team.
Yeah, and you can almost give all the credit for their lead to Lane Sparks, who has 17 points of his own. His amount of points in the box score is the Forester lead. He has been, I dare say it, a spark plug for this Forester side. He's been the spark that has lit this Forester fire on offense, and they look to continue to have an impact from him.
Let's go ahead and run through some stats here. First, we'll start with some team stats. Lourdes shot 7 of 27, which is 26% in that first half. 1 of 9, that's 11%. The one good thing, 7 of 10 from the free throw line. 3 steals, 3 assists, 4 turnovers. So they took care of the basketball and actually have more shots than HU, but nothing was falling, mostly because Max Gizzi was doing such a good job on Sean Monroe. Foresters, they shoot 16 of 26, 61.5%. Really hard to beat when they're doing that. 2 of 6 from downtown, 33%. 5 of 7 from the free throw line. 17 rebounds for the Foresters, 17 defensive rebounds. They had 20 overall. 3 steals, 8 assists, 4 turnovers. HU as always takes really good care of the basketball, and they did it again there in that first half, and they matched that up with shooting the ball well. And when they shoot the ball well and take care of the ball well, they're really good, and that's why they've been a top 10 to 15 team in the country all year long.
Yeah, the only way I can see this Lourdes team getting back in this is they fix that shooting percentage. I mean, it is impossible to win a game when you're shooting around 20%, 30% from the field. You're just never going to win a game that way. The shots have to fall, especially for Sean Monroe. He has to get going here in this second half for this Lourdes team. They feed off of his energy and his willingness to score and put the ball on the floor for them. Right now, being held to only just 4 points by one of the best defenders on the team, and Max Gizzi, who he's been playing really well. But Monroe really has to have a bigger impact in this second half.
So you take a look. HU scores 39 points. They shoot 61.5%. They have 0 points from Drew Goodline.
Yeah.
He's kind of the guy. Corey Alford, when I met with him this week, he said, we have to have Drew make shots. He didn't make a shot. He only took 2 shots in the entire first half. Huntington's still in this good of a spot, and we now actually have Corey Alford joining us for our halftime interview. Coach, first off, offensively, incredible half, 61.5%. Of course, Lane's doing his thing. What allowed you guys to get so many good looks?
Yeah, I just thought we played with confidence. We got stops, especially that first 10 minutes, got out and ran. Thought Landon Jordan was an awesome job of getting inside, kind of imposing his will, had 9 and 9. But both sides of the ball, I think our offense was a 130 rating, defense was a 73. I'll take both those 2 any day.
Max Gizzi shutting out one of the best scorers in the country right now. Of course he can get going, but what makes Max so special on that end?
He's relentless. He does the prep work. He watches the film. But his defensive tenacity and fundamentals are second to none. That's why he's Defensive Player of the Year.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you after the game. 39-22. I think we're planning on maybe getting on screen here, Ryan, so make sure you don't have anything in your teeth. It's just been a tremendous first half right here in front of us, close up and personal in your living room, watching the Foresters here tonight. Yeah. It's been a blast, and also shout out to our production crew in the back. Adam Weiner producing tonight. Excellent job on those replays. That's a stressful environment to have us send it to them with really no warning at all, and then boom, hey, we need to see a replay for these refs right away, or they might get a little cranky. So yeah, we appreciate all of that for you guys doing that, and yeah, it's just great first half, and this is a historic night. It's the first time ever an NAIA National Tournament game's been held here in Platt Arena, and this is why they did all this. This is why they built the new arena, added the new locker rooms, and it's been a blast and a great environment.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to be able to announce a national game like this on such a big stage with so many great fans watching the broadcast, so many great fans here. Like you said, great atmosphere. The student section is really pumped up for this game, and the Forester team has not disappointed. We'll see if the Lourdes can up their intensity here as well.
I want to give one shout out really quick to a special fan watching tonight. I was actually walking around my neighborhood the other day, And there is a gentleman named Bob Carter who lives in my neighborhood. He's a 1959 graduate of Huntington University. He's tuning in tonight. Hello, Bob, and thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. I run into people sometimes and let them know that I do this, and then they tell us how big of a fan they are of FDN Sports. They love FDN Sports, and for good reason. Everyone does a really great job here at Huntington University.
Yeah, absolutely. Always trying to upgrade the broadcast in any way possible, make it as good as possible, as many angles as possible, especially for the refs and the fans that are watching at home. And just always a great experience here with the FDN Sports crew. And we look to keep that quality going here with the second half of this Lourdes basketball game versus the Huntington University Foresters.
We're just about set for second half action. Round of 64. We will have one more game up next. That would be Graceland versus Northwestern. So if you want to, stick right here all night on FDN Sports. I was on baseball before this. Came right over here to do some basketball. And Max Gizzi will take over possession here. Foresters will start with it up 17. And if you guys saw my glasses fogging up on this stream, that's because it's about 100 degrees in Platt Arena right now.
The amount of people in here, it is heating up by the second in here.
Monroe called for the push. That is his second foul. So just got into the body of Lane Sparks a little bit, was whistled for the personal. Now Huntington will have it side out. Pressure being applied by Paxton Payne. He's trying to turn this game around with a little energy on the defensive end. Jackson Paul off the dribble, goes all the way to the rim, floats it high off the glass.
That is a really nice shot there from Paul, just initiating the contact. There was nothing the Lourdes defender could do to stop him there, and a really tough basket from Jackson Paul.
Darrell Jones, Sean Monroe, those are the two scorers for this team. Monroe to Jones, there's the connection, and it's worked well all year.
Yeah, that pick and roll right there is one of their main offensive go-to plays when they're trying to score, and it is very effective. Sean Monroe is a very good playmaker. He's obviously known for his scoring, but his ability to get the ball to his teammates is really good.
Good line, baseline, Jordan, jam.
And there's 11 already. Landon Jordan, like you said, last year really made an impact in those games in the tournament last year, and he's already having a nice night here.
He's got 11 and 9 now, and that is in less than 15 minutes. Monroe fouled. I think they're going to get Gizzi as he got probably in the landing area of Monroe.
Yeah, he got into his body a little bit too much. There you see there's nowhere for Monroe to land. That is a foul every single day, and Gizzi has got to do a better job there of contesting it without getting in his landing space.
And what good scorers do, they find ways to get into those positions to get that whistle.
Yeah.
And that's a part of scoring, and that's why Monroe's a top 5 scorer in the country.
Yeah, I mean, he's so shifty. He knows how to manipulate his defender into getting to the spots that he wants to be at, and right there just played it perfectly and drew the foul on Gizzi, and that's his second. So he's going to look to try and draw maybe a couple more on Gizzi and get him off of so he can get going on the offensive end.
Gizzi named the Defensive Player of the Year in the Crossroads League. You see Coach Dupree there. He gave a big shout out to Brett Loff, who is his associate head coach. They were picked 6th in the WAC. They finished well above that. And Brett Loff, he was part of the first WAC championship for Lourdes. So he's a really good second-hand guy, right-hand man, and he's been excellent for Coach Dupree, who's in his first year and making the national tournament right away as Sparks just continues to roll.
And right now, Lane Sparks looks like the best scorer on the floor, even with Sean on the floor. Lane Sparks just unstoppable inside, and he's getting everything from inside. Usually he likes to shoot a lot of mid-range jump shots, maybe some threes here and there, but he's doing everything from inside around the rim, and that's really impressive.
Darrell Jones missed the first, tipped it right back in. He's starting to show a little bit of that offensive flow that he's had most of the year.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great play. Got Landon off his feet, and once he beat him on the dribble, he really had an easy shot, and Landon Jordan just continuing to punish the rim and punish this Lourdes interior defense.
This Lourdes team is very, very good, but they just don't have the size right now to compete with Landon at 6'9". Jones, another. Drew Goodline, not scoring, but rebounding and assisting. Jackson Paul, coast to coast. Sparks drives, takes a tough 2 and scores it anyways.
Layton Sparks is just unreal right now. He is unconscious on the offensive end, just making every single shot that he puts up, all the way up to 21 points now, unless they...
No, they just gave a delay of game warning to the Foresters for knocking it through the net. It's HU's largest lead, 22. Live stats not quite updating correctly here in the arena, so we'll continue to keep a close eye on that. Foresters right now, the most important score is 49-27 on the scoreboard. Caden Johnson back in. Sean Monroe has it in his hands again. Gizzy tried taking it away, and a foul was called. I don't think it was on Gizzy, it was on Caden Johnson reaching in.
Yeah, he cannot reach in there. Just allow Gizzy to play that defense. He was forcing Sean, who, I mean, he can still finish going left, but obviously his weaker hand driving to the basket. I say if you're KJ, you need to just let Gizzy play out that defensive sequence and not getting those unnecessary reach-in fouls, because now Sean Monroe can see maybe 2 more shots go through the basket here.
He does get the first one to go. Corey was asking whether it should have been on the pass, but they did give him the shot. I couldn't quite tell. Once again, if you're a really good scorer like this, sometimes you get the benefit of the doubt as well, and you should.
Yeah.
Second one off the mark. And Caden Johnson able to grab it. You saw after that defensive possession, Jackson Paul said, KJ, don't reach, because it looked like Gizzy had it covered. And it's easy to do, put your hand in the cookie jar and reach a foul or pick up a foul, and that's what happened.
And great offensive players, they know when defenders have it there, and Lane just misses the 3. If he hit that, he would have been shooting around 70% from the field.
That's his best look of the night, and that's the one that didn't drop. Monroe, one-on-one with Gizzy again. Jones will fire another 3. Still not happening from downtown.
And Drew, yet another rebound. Like I said, not scoring the ball, barely even put any shots up, but his impact is being felt through other ways here.
Winner of this game will play tomorrow night in Platt Arena at 6 p.m. right back here at the same time. Caden Johnson and Drew Goodline, a little 2-man game, and now Max late in the shot clock. KJ doubled, finds the cutting Sparks, who's blocked from behind by Jones.
That is such a great defensive play there from Jones. I mean, knew exactly where he needed to be, and they missed the shot there.
Barely off the mark. Gizzy blocks out 6'7", Darrell Jones. Sparks, KJ, lefty to lefty.
That is a great play right there. Lane Sparks just draws so much attention in transition. The whole Lourdes defense was looking at Lane, not paying attention to the 6'11" big man inside, and an easy finish.
Monroe has it in his hands again. He takes it to the rim. Caden Johnson couldn't get back, and Sean getting it going a little bit here offensively in this second half.
And that's what Lourdes wants to see. They want to see him get some shots to go, and he needs to build this momentum. I mean, he is so important to what they want to do, and if they're going to make a comeback, it's going to be on his shoulders.
Jackson Paul looking for an option in the middle of the zone. Drew finds Lane. Double team. Drew was open. Gizzy, shot fake, takes a 18-footer. He hit it, but there's a foul on the floor. That's on Derek Fairley, the freshman, and we've got our first media timeout here in the second half. Huntington up 21, 14:42 left in the first round. We're just going to keep it here for this media timeout. It's 51-30 inside Platt Arena. The foul called last on Lourdes, and that was called on Derek Fairley. A couple people tuning in. We've got Kevin Schoolfield saying, let's go Huntington, all the way from Virginia. Lane Sparks family, they're watching Florida, and they're enjoying tonight. Sparks is having a really good game again. And then we've got Terry Bowman. I hope you got your audio problem fixed, Terry. I don't think we're having any other issues. If anyone else can confirm that, let us know. But I think our audio's okay, and I guess if it's not, Terry wouldn't know. And then we've got Michael Garden as well. Michael Garden in Mesa, Arizona. Hope you're enjoying that. Maybe catching some spring training baseball game there as you see Dr. Emberton. She's in her final days here as the president of Huntington University. Really great president for, I believe it's a 12 to 13 year stretch. It'll be Dr. Pepper, who's the next president. I love that name. I think that's the best name in town.
Absolutely. And everyone's talking about, will he be giving everyone free Dr. Peppers on his first day? And that's what the students are hoping for, at least.
Hey, you should give the sports broadcaster one as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it'll be Huntington's basketball. That's our first media timeout. We'll have 2 more the rest of the way here in this second half. And Max Gizzi will control the offense. We haven't really seen Max do much since early in this game. It's just 2 or 3 from the field. Good line, trying to get his scoring started. Off the mark, Cade Brenner came in the backside, but fairly grabbed the miss. Monroe, they have got away with the walk, but he has it back. Sean pushes off, got Gizzi away, and Max stopped him anyways and then grabs the miss.
And Max Gizzi continuing to put that pressure as Brenner does the one thing he's on the floor to do, and that's make open threes. And he's been really picking that up late here in the season for the Foresters. His three-point percentage has really gone up.
Brenner averages only 3.8 points per game, but he is shooting 35.3% from downtown. You said it. He's in there to shoot the ball, and that's what he did. Huntington up 24. Back to the basket. Fall away shot from Jones. Brenner now on the defensive side grabs the miss. This game is getting into a danger zone right now for Lourdes. Brenner open again for 2 straight.
Oh yeah. And he is another player that if he can light it up from the floor, this Forester crowd gets into it, the team gets into it, and they feed off of his energy. And right now you can kind of feel the Foresters trying to grasp the momentum here.
27-point lead, 6 straight for Cade Brenner. And now Max is called for a reach-in as Monroe came and got the ball. Monroe and Gizzi sharing some words. I think Gizzi's got the best of that one so far tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he has really been huge for this team. 5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. I mean, that is an incredible night from a guy who is asked to do so much. He plays almost every single minute of every game for this Forester squad. He is so big for them, and that should be a backcourt violation as it was Monroe who touched it, and a push right there.
Yeah, Monroe's starting to get really frustrated right now. This Forester defense. Sean gets a bucket to go.
That's a interesting offensive possession. Maybe got away with 2 different offensive turnovers or fouls there, but I mean, when you're up by 25, you're not going to complain too much about minuscule calls like that.
And now we'll hold inside. This is on Kendall Perkins. Drew Goodline was trying to cut. 3 fouls on both teams, and man, I guess both sides are upset with the officiating, but at the same time, it's even right now, 3-3.
But it was very even in that first half as well. So, I mean, honestly, it's been very, very good officiating all night. Maybe a couple questionable calls here and there, maybe some missed calls, but that's bound to happen in any game.
There's another hold, this time on Darrell Jones, as him and Jordan are starting to get physical inside.
And that's number 3 on Jones, who's a huge player for this team. And Lane, again,
wide open for 3, off the mark, goes over top of the backboard, and it's out of bounds on the Foresters.
And you can feel with time starting to wind down here in this game, both teams getting a little more chippy and a little more aggressive. And Lourdes has to be that way if they want to come back in this game, maybe try and play some mind games, get into the Foresters' heads a little bit.
Backdoor cut, nice move under the basket by Adonis Abrams. The freshman's been quiet tonight.
And Jackson Paul right there fell asleep, allowed the easy backdoor cut, and you cannot do that.
Now a foul whistled on Derek Fairley. Starting to stack up against Lourdes right now. That's 5 on the Grey Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be an easy dunk for Roman. So, I mean, honestly, you'd take that foul if you're Lourdes there. Force the Foresters to make a basket here on a set defense.
Jackson Paul running the point right now with Gizzy on the bench. Jackson, couple of crossovers, tough move to the rim, floats it in off glass.
What a move from Jackson Paul. Just saw a mismatch that he liked and took full advantage, and just a little too easy out there for this Forester offense.
Jones will continue to fire these threes. He's yet to make one tonight. Now Huntington has a chance to run. Up top, Landon catches it up top.
Unbelievable, and the crowd tapping their heads as that was on top of the Lourdes defender, and Landon Jordan just unreal above the rim right now.
Jones jumped with Jordan and it didn't work, as now a foul is going to be called on Jackson Paul.
Yeah, and it looked like he wasn't fully set there, got in the way of defender. His feet were still moving. That's the right call there. Even if the fans don't agree, that is the right call there.
That's 2 on JP, as Monroe has been really going at it with Gizzy and Jackson Paul. I asked Coach for Lourdes, Coach Dupree, how he'd feel about facing someone like Jackson Paul and Max Gizzy, 2 of the best perimeter defenders, and he said Monroe wants that. He wants this battle, and so far the Foresters guards are winning it.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're really putting pressure on him, and he has not been able to overcome that yet, and it's really hurting him right there. Backcourt violation. Cade Brenner, not usually known for his defense, but causing a turnover there on Lourdes.
HU just disrupting right now. All game long, they've been so disruptive on the defensive end.
And you could tell that defense is starting to get to the heads of Lourdes a little bit here, as they're really struggling on the offensive end. Monroe shoving a little bit, a couple of the players being too physical when they're trying to draw fouls and stuff. I mean, they're really playing it well, and their defense is the biggest reason why Foresters are winning.
Sparks called for a travel, as that's a turnover on the Foresters. They haven't had many turnovers here today. In fact, Ryan, that's only the 6th turnover, first on Sparks, make it the 5th. So they've only got 1 turnover in this entire second half.
Yeah, and same thing for Lourdes. That was their first turnover on the backcourt violation. Both teams with only 5 turnovers. I mean, this has been a game where both teams have really taken care of the ball well. It's just been the Forester defense that's been the difference. And right there, Roman Bruvier just put him in a box on that out of bounds call right there. And there is nowhere for Monroe to go there. Roman Bruvier, such an impactful defensive player.
Bruvier moving that big body well, and this Forester faithful is just so into this game, and this is why Corey wanted this here, because the fans show up. It'll be the same way here tomorrow too, absolutely, if the Foresters move on. Sparks looking for an option as Gizzy throws it over the top. Landon couldn't get that one to fall into his hands. Jones runs and scores with the right hand.
That's great play. Monroe tried to drew both Gizzy and Drew there, and an easy finish for Jones. And I mean, he's been arguably their best player of the game, with Monroe struggling as much as he is.
Gizzy back to his aggressive mode. Jordan able to collect, and then standing out of bounds and coming back in was Caden Cruz. I still like that drive, though. Another thing that's interesting, Coach Corey Alford asked to have this first game in Platt Arena. Floor gets a little slick after you play a few games, so we might see that be a factor in the next game as well.
Yeah,
he did that on purpose. Gizzy missed the cutter. Sparks, Landon Jordan will face up and go to lane. 6 on the shot clock. Sparks to Drew, still trying to get his scoring started. Up and under to Landon Jordan, and a late foul is called, as it's going to be on the drive. It looked like Goodline was fouled in the air.
Got hit on the head by,
sure did,
by Jones. That should be his 4th foul, I believe. but they instead give it to Fairley instead, which is only his third, even though the contact to the head was from Jones.
Sure looked like it. Yep, it should be on 20, and that's who they're going to change it to. We just saw the replay there. So we'll have to see what number that is. Sparks comes off a curl, falls to his right, in and out. Jordan puts it right back.
And Landon Jordan has just dominated this Lourdes big man rotation. They have had no answer for him all night long, and the depth they have at that center spot in this Forester roster is just so overbearing for other teams, and you can tell it is having an effect right now.
Monroe traveled as Jordan sat down at 6'9" and caused another turnover.
Yeah, and Monroe, you can tell he's in his head right now. He is just not playing well. He's being defended by everyone at a high level on the Forester end. And right now, Lourdes just really struggling.
Okay, we are going to send it to immediate timeout. Come right back on FDN Sports. Huntington way up on Lourdes. Back on FDN Sports, and if you want more of FDN Sports, go ahead and follow us on Instagram. We'll show you some of our NAIA National Tournament setup. See Landon Beagles, jersey, Landon Jordan. Well, we've seen a lot of that in-game. Roman Brouvier, sold-out crowd, beautiful new facility. Starting 5 for the Foresters. How about a block from Roman as well? You can see all this on @FDN Sports on Instagram, and we'd love to have you join us. Of course, we love you joining us here on the broadcast, but join us on social media as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great place to be. Our content has been excellent here this season, as it's 63-36.
And they changed the foul call to Jones, which is in fact his 4th now, so he's got to be very careful to not foul out, as he's been one of the few things keeping this team afloat.
Good line. Likes driving that left baseline there. Spins it out. Sparks able to catch. Tough, too. Got it right back and scored it over the top of Fairley.
Lane Sparks with 23, and he has almost as many, he has more points than all 3 of their top scorers on the Lourdes side combined right now. Just unreal on the offensive end.
Fairley tried to kick out that leg. Gizzy was nearly tripped, but no foul. Sparks can't run it down.
Yeah, not the greatest pass there from KJ. I mean, a good court vision to see Lane cutting to the basket there. Just threw it a little too long. Alford not happy with the turnover there, as any coach hates unforced turnovers. And you can also see Northwestern getting a look at possibly the team they're going to have to face tomorrow if they can win their game.
Jones loses it inside. Loose ball on the floor. Foresters come away with it. Caden Johnson slows it down. Gizzy thought about one from the volleyball line. We'll pull it out and start this set over. Yeah, I hope a lot of these fans stick around for the next game, too. Those two teams, they're from a long ways away. Sparks inside. Caden Johnson dribbles with the left and another dunk and a technical foul.
Yeah,
pretty easy call.
Yeah, you cannot do that. He pulled down a little bit there on the rim. Can't do that, but I mean, he doesn't normally dunk it all that often, so the Foresters are happy with that, and a nice aggressive play there from KJ in the paint.
that's always a technical.
Yeah.
I mean, when you hang on the rim and shake it,
Yeah.
you're usually going to get called for that. So it's a technical on Caden Johnson, and Sean Monroe will head to the free throw line. You know, Monroe, it looks like he's going to probably have his career come to an end tonight. Man, he has been excellent. Nearly 1,200 points in 2 years here at Lourdes. He's been that good. I mean, 600 points per season almost. As a sub will come in, Caden Cruz out. And then Caden Johnson out, as well as Roman Brouvier's back in. But he's been very, very excellent in his career. Even if he's not had his best game tonight, he's someone you can admire. And only at 5'11", he's got that many points. He's a great scorer.
Yeah, I mean, he really is just such a great scorer, like you said. And it also gives a lot of kudos to this Forrester defense and just shows you why we have the best defensive backcourt in the entire league. I mean, with players like Gizzy and Jackson Paul, it's tough for any scorer to constantly get buckets all night long, and they have really made his life difficult.
Another foul called. This is going to be on Landon Beagle, who's getting some minutes tonight. It was on the pass. It is the 5th personal. Both teams creeping closer to that 1-and-1.
Yeah, it's been a lot more physical in this second half. The first half was a lot more of just taking a bunch of shots, but this quarter it's been mostly fouling as Monroe once again just cannot make a shot.
Jones continues to launch from 3. Still is not knocked in a triple. Good line, pushing the pace. That was kicked away, and it will be off of Lourdes.
Yeah, it's the right call, and you can tell that Drew was did not realize that Sean Monroe was trailing the play there, nearly caused a turnover, but Forrester's lucky to get possession back.
7:50 left in this game. It's the largest lead for Huntington at 30. 3-14 matchup here in one of the Naismith pods as Brouvier called for over the back. And I believe that's the 6th team foul. So now Lourdes just 1 foul away on the Foresters from shooting 1-and-1. That's Roman's 4th as well. Huntington would like to probably sit some of these guys, rest them up for tomorrow. It's a quick turnaround. You play 2 games within 24 hours. Jones tosses it right out of bounds.
Yeah, and this Lourdes team just looks a little out of sync on the offensive end. I mean, they have been held to under 40 points for almost like 35 minutes of a 40-minute game. I mean, they have really just been put on lockdown by this Forrester defense, and there's a reason why this is one of the best defenses in the entire tournament, and they're showing it tonight.
Brenner looking for an entry pass. Drew will reset. Huntington now can start really burning some of this clock as well. 5 on the shot clock. Drew off the dribble against Jones. Pulls up right in his eye. Can't get it to go. Long rebound down to Derek Fairley.
And for this Forrester squad to win the way that they are tonight, without Drew Goodline even making a single shot, especially with how important he is to this team, is really incredible.
Brenner, side step triple off the mark, left it short. Fairley another rebound. Kind of stuck in a track race right now between these two. 3 from the right corner, long. That one missed by Paxton Payne.
You can see the Forrester starting to slow down at each possession here, using more and more of that clock. And as the seconds are ticking away here, so are the chances of any sort of comeback from Lourdes.
Yep, approaching 6 minutes. We got 1 more media timeout coming here in Platt Arena. JP gets that little step back. Brouvier with perfect deep position on Monroe.
Yeah, that was a gorgeous play. Just pinned him under the basket, and Monroe could do nothing but just give him the easy layup without fouling. And that is a beautiful play from Roman Brouvier.
Pass inside, Payne, high off glass. On the backside, fairly missed. Passed out again. Dropped by Monroe. Cade Brenner, 3-on-3 here, as Monroe goes tough to the rim. Tried to go up and under, and Brenner's called for the foul, and you can see Corey rubbing his eyes.
Not the biggest fan right there, as it looked like Cade maybe caught him on the back, pushed him a little bit, why he wasn't able to finish the layup, as If he probably hadn't got pushed there, that probably would have been an easy layup there for Monroe, but she needs to add 2 more to his total points tonight.
Monroe, 11 points, 12 now, 6 of those from the free throw line. And in this game, he's just 3 of 12. And he usually shoots it 20, 25 times a game, but even just getting a shot against HU tonight has been a little bit of a task for him.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 turnovers on the night as well. As they have just really hounded him and made his life so hard on the offensive end, and you can clearly tell it's affected this entire Lourdes roster. They feed off of what he is able to do on the offensive end, so being able to hold him down to a low-scoring night is really what led the Forces to have the lead they have right now.
30-second timeout is going to turn into the media timeout. Huntington up 31. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more of the NAIA first-round matchup on FDN Sports. Back in Platt Arena, and if you're a fan of the Foresters, you already know this, but they play in the Crossroads League, which is one of the toughest conferences in the entire league. Take a look at what happened around the Crossroads League with the rest of the teams. Spring Arbor won, IWU won, Bethel won, Grace won, Huntington's gonna win. St. Francis can make it 6 for 6 tonight. Talk about a powerhouse conference, and this is what we see year in and year out.
Absolutely, this is known as one of the toughest conferences in the entire NAIA. IWU beating a tough team in Madonna. Grace absolutely dominating with nearly a 50-point blowout in their game. Grace, who won the championship for the Crossroads League, and the team is really good. And Jackson Paul got held there. As you can see, his arm was getting put behind his back by the defender.
30-point lead. It's 1-1 now for Jackson Paul. Take a look at the free throws tonight. Huntington's only shot 7 free throws compared to 18 for Lourdes. So JP now will head to the charity stripe. He had a hot start offensively. Still have 9 points and 6 assists. Misses his lone free throw attempt. If Jackson Paul's doing that for you, this team just continues to get better, and you add a good Drew Goodline in, which we could see tomorrow in a big game. That just makes this team dangerous. Kamani Smith guarding a tough guard over on the right side, Derek Fairley, and the freshman wins that battle.
Yeah, he is so shifty with his handle. I mean, that behind the back creates so much separation that he's able to rise up over a really scrappy defender in Kamani Smith. That is a really tough shot from just a freshman.
Jackson Paul off the dribble, looking for Landon Beagle. He's in for a couple of minutes late in this game. And a great pass from KJ to JP.
And he did a little look-away pass there to Jackson Paul, who just cut at the right time there. And this Lourdes interior defense has just been getting pulverized all game long, and it has really hurt this team.
Fairley again has a foul called, this time along with the bucket. And Kamani Smith is called for the personal. I'm telling you, this Fairley kid, just a freshman from Cleveland, Ohio, has got a bright future. We've got one more media timeout for you. Huntington up 28, 4:38 left until the round of 32. back in Platt Arena. Of course, our sports production's very, very good here at Huntington University, but something else is really impressive. DMA program here in Huntington, Indiana, at Huntington University. It's the #1 digital media arts program in the entire country for Christian schools. You can see right there, you can click around on that. You can apply if you want to come and make films. There's been actual films created by the students here that you can go to the theater here in Huntington and watch. Excellent. A Carpenter's Prayer, the most recent one. A ton of students helped with that. And a lot of our sports people that work on the cameras and do graphics and replay also work on films, which is really cool, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Their digital media arts department is really solid here. I'm a part of it here on Forrester Digital Network, and Lane Sparks just continues to get the oohs and ahs from the crowd with his scoring ability, all the way up to 25 points on the night.
Remember, he did not get to play in the national tournament last year, so he's back for revenge this season. He's got 25 here tonight. Barely trying to go on a mini run on his own, had it halfway down. Landon Jordan with his 11th rebound to go along with 17 points.
Yeah, it's a really solid game from Landon Jordan, and this is what they need from him. He is such a good rebounder. If he can make those height plays for them as well, he's really good, and Fairley playing well on the redshirt senior.
Gizzy goes around, falls away, left it short. Jordan tipped it towards the rim. Monroe comes in on the left side, takes it away. John stopped by Landon Jordan. Good matchup between these two, and Jordan called for the bump.
And that's a really tough matchup for Landon Jordan. Just not as fast, and you can see there, clearly gave the bump to Monroe. But Monroe's going to take advantage of that matchup every single time down the floor. And this ovation for the Foresters coming out, the starting lineup, who were just so impactful all night, really played their hearts out, and it shows in the scoreboard.
Yep, good hand for Max, Lane, and Jordan, Landon Jordan. And now Monroe's back at the free throw line as he will take a couple of dribbles, send up his 11th attempt of the night. 8 free throws, made 14 total points, so most of them have come from the charity stripe this evening for Sean.
And I mean, this is what good scorers do. If they're not hitting their shots aren't falling, you get to the free throw line and you get your points that way, and that's what he's done tonight. He's gone to his spots, gotten defenders to reach their hands into the cookie jar, and he's really been effective at getting to the line tonight.
350 live viewers most of the night on YouTube, and of course, we're one of the few schools that does it for free.
Yes.
So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you're enjoying it from wherever you may be. Beagle, he wants in on the action. Kicks it to Brenner, sophomore to sophomore. Sharpshooters trying to share the load. Nothing there for Brenner. Adonis Abrams, he'll go off the bounce. Go to his off right hand. 3 on the way from the left wing is perfect from Paxton Payne. That's his first 3 points of the night.
Yeah, he missed a couple of those earlier in this game, and one of their better three-point shooters, and what a move from Jackson Paul, lost the freshman.
JP goes coast to coast. He was blocked, but out of bounds was Abrams, as they're letting the guards play here a little bit. Fairley was beat, but his freshman teammate Abrams with a good block.
Yeah.
Whole hand on top of the ball
Yeah,
there.
that was a really great defensive play there. Great defensive rotation for the block shot, and Jackson Paul, he's been really good finishing around the rim so far in this game as well, so that makes it all the more impressive.
Kick pass, Kamani Smith will drive baseline, lost the dribble for a moment, now tries forcing it up, and it was blocked right at the rim by Ross Thompson. Donis has it stolen by Brenner, and Kamani able to clean it up. Now the Foresters can start burning this clock here right around the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, and the Forester fans starting to applaud this team's effort here tonight, just dominating in a game that really could have gone either way if you looked at it at the beginning of the game, with, you know, having a player like Sean Monroe can get hot any night. He's dropped 40 before. Just the effort and determination on the defensive end, really impressive.
Kamani, a bucket right over the top of Paxton Payne, using some of that strength and putting his name on a national tournament box score.
Yeah, and the only player to come into the game to not score for the Foresters being Beagle, as Kamani Smith adds to another scorer for this Forester roster.
So 90 seconds left. Jake Dupree is going to call a timeout as Fairley scored another tough bucket. Fairley has been a real bright spot tonight. Freshman has 12 points, 4 of 10 from the field, go along with 5 rebounds, 2 assists. But at the end of the day, Huntington is going to move on here tonight. We'll show you our bracket update before the next game and kind of take you through what it looks like. HU has not been to the Sweet 16 since 2005-2006. Last time they went there, they went to the national championship game and lost to the host school, College of the Ozarks. That was a really tremendous team. That was back when Steve Platt was in charge, which of course the arena's named after. Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame person, and you can't say enough about what he did. And now Chase Burba, who played for Steve Platt on the bench for Corey Alford. It's just all those connections, and Huntington's trying to do something they haven't done in 19 years, and they'll have a chance to do that tomorrow against either Northwestern or Graceland.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a chance last year as well, but ran into a really tough Arizona Christian squad that just was a little too much for the Foresters to handle, especially missing their second best scorer in Lane Sparks last year, and trying to make up for that loss last year with a win tomorrow.
Cade Brenner put it on the floor, and he's fouled by Thompson. So Cade showing off a little bit of the ball handling and going hard to the rim. He did a ton of that in high school. In fact, he almost averaged 19 points per game at Northwood as a senior. Was one of the best shooters in the entire state. He still has room to grow, and next year he might be put in a bigger role where he's got to play a lot.
Well, especially with the amount of guys that are graduating from this Forester roster next year. We've got guys like Jackson Paul, Landon Jordan, Max Gizzy, Lane Sparks. I mean, these are all, those four you could argue are their 4 best players. So all these young guys are going to get thrown into bigger minutes, bigger roles next year, and they're really going to look to Cade Brenner to try and lift them offensively next year for sure.
Fairley and Thompson. Monroe going to end his career tonight, 6 seasons in college. A couple of those shortened as that one's short. Cade Brenner grabs the miss. Jackson Paul and Max Gizzy, one of their best defensive performances tonight. And whoever they play tomorrow, they're going to have to bring that same energy right here in Platt Arena. One more shot coming for HU. It's Beagle who can't connect. The only Forester to not score tonight is Thompson. Knocked it out of play. Huntington will keep it.
And it looks like they're trying to get Beagle on the scoreboard right now and have every single player score for the Foresters, but just what an incredible performance from this Forester squad. And you can take nothing away from Lourdes, as they really did. They played their hearts out. Even if it wasn't their most efficient or best offensive game, they really played well. You see the coach giving a send-off to one of the best players they've had in their team's history, in Sean Monroe, and just what a way to end the season in the national tournament, to make it here above so many other teams. Just so impressive for this Lourdes roster.
Fairley fires a 3. It's in and out. That should be icing on the cake. Coach Dupree and Sean Monroe having a moment right in front of us. One of the best players in Lourdes history. A tremendous college basketball player, ends his career tonight. But man, he was fun to watch for all these years, and didn't have his best stuff tonight, but an excellent player and a great person because of Jake Dupree as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What a fantastic roster, and what a fantastic game from 2 of the best teams in the entire nation in the NAIA. And the Foresters will move on to play either one of Northwestern or Graceland tomorrow here in Platt Arena.
Huntington shoots a tremendous 56.9%. They hold Lourdes to 31.5%, 2 of 20 from 3. You can see every single Forester really giving some love to Sean Monroe. They know how good he is. They know he didn't have his best night, but he is an excellent player. And as mentioned, just because basketball over doesn't mean that everything's over for him, and that's a big part. So we got Coach Corey Alford joining us right now on the headset. Coach, first of all, this environment is why you guys built this new arena, new facilities, and this crowd brought the energy all night long.
No doubt about that. This is what we envisioned. Super, super cool night. Fun night. Excited for tomorrow, but we got to get with the staff, get with the team, recover. But that was a special evening in Platt Arena. That was a lot of fun.
Obviously, Lane Sparks didn't get a play in the national tournament last year. He comes out here this year. He has 25 on 11-19 from the start. He was dominant. We've seen that over and over again.
Yeah, I thought he was outstanding. I think we lose track when we're playing in Crossroads League that some of those teams have played him for 4 years, right? And you know at least a little bit of how to stop him. But I thought our guard play was outstanding. Yep. I thought a lot of that started with Jackson and Max. I think both had 6 assists and just played really aggressive from the start. Thought they made good decisions. I thought our bigs played well when we had a size advantage. And then our defense tonight was relentless from the start.
Coach, what's the next 24 hours look like for you guys?
Well, it's March basketball. It's what we live for. It's a lot of fun, but it's a quick turnaround. Yep. We've had some of our staff already started on both of these teams that are about to play tonight. So it'll be quick, get recovered, ice bath, protein shakes, all that random stuff that you need to do to get recovered for tomorrow. And then it turns to whoever our opponent is once we find out here in about 2 hours.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. Let's go to the Sweet 16 tomorrow.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Coach Corey Alford joining us on FDN Sports. Ryan, you got any final thoughts following a big Foresters win?
You guys covered most of it. Just an incredible game overall from the guards here in Huntington. Max Gizzi, Jackson Paul holding one of the best scores in the entire nation to only 15 points. Really made him struggle from the field, and this is a really solid win and a great way to put pressure on one of these next teams to win. And you can see Corey Alford and Lane Sparks and a bunch of the guys celebrating and getting ready to go back to the locker room together.
And it'll be Lane Sparks. How fitting for him to stamp Huntington's spot in the round of 32 here tomorrow in Platt Arena. Lane puts it on there. They've got one more game to go to do something that a Forester team hasn't done in 19 years. Lane Sparks with 25. The Foresters win by 26. Preston Husband, Ryan Holzapfel, the rest of the FDN Sports crew. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back in Platt Arena for Northwestern in Graceland, first round of the NAIA tournament.
Catch and fire. It's on the... He made it!